What's good, B?
We good, man. We good. We back again. You know,
Yeah, we back.
another episode.
Second
Uh,
episode, Cream Team Chronicles.
Cream Team Chronicles. The first joint it should be out by now, and y'all should have absorbed all that futuristic, early '90s, late '90s, mid '90s.
Yeah, 1990,
Yeah.
1990. You know, when I said that the Cream Team really began that year, 1990, the Cream Team is an ideal. It is an aura, an ambiance.
Right.
It's a vibe that motherfuckers ride, you know what I'm saying? And it ended up becoming more than anyone ever expect up here, the brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Right, for
So
sure.
when I say that it started in 1990, and I may have not known the dudes that I ended up running the streets with and making a lot of money with in 1990, again, it's an aura, it's an ambiance, it's a vibe, it's an energy, it's something you see that you're fascinated by, you want to emulate. And that's what I saw in Queens. I saw young dudes getting money,
Hmm.
young dudes storming the Coliseum, buying jewelry, buying sneakers, buying Sergio Tacchini shoes. You know what I'm saying? Door
Hmm.
knockers everywhere. You know, this is what I saw. And it was the first time I ever got a chance to see that. You know, what we left off at was something about the Queens had over this mentality. And never wanted to leave Queens.
Right.
You know
What?
what I'm saying?
But why you never wanted to leave Queens? He's having so much fun out there.
Well, I didn't want to leave because it was home. You know, I was placed in foster care when I was born,
Right.
and I spent my first 4 years in Queens. So I was growing up in a big ass house, you know, with a jungle gym in the backyard and all of that. So I fell in love with Queens since I was a baby,
Right.
and I ended up, moving to the Bronx around the time I was 4, and I stayed in the Bronx till I was like 11. And then I was back in Queens, you know what I'm saying? And those years, those impressionable years, 11, 12, that's when I saw the street culture in Queens. So I didn't want to leave, but it was getting cold, you know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
when I say I was homeless, I would say that facetiously, or figuratively speaking, I was really homeless. Like I had ran away again.
Right.
I was sleeping in my man Shimoni, RIP, aka Moon. I was sleeping in his grandmother's basement. I was sleeping in Sherelle and Shakuli's grandmother's basement. And
Hmm.
there was times when, the grandmother came down, they were like, yo, where you sleep? Boy, going in my house. He gotta go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, he knew himself for a little while. He learned better protocol. He can't speak. There's somebody in the house. I'm actually in 40 basement projects. I'm sleeping on the tree.
Right.
Mind you, I'm 12, and this is dangerous. So I was forced to go back to the Bronx, where I knew I could sleep at the foot of somebody's bed.
Right.
Because I come from a big family. I have family on 170th Street, family on Catona Park, family on Burnside. I have family in Forest Projects. I
Right.
have family on Cedric and Kingsbridge. Somebody was gonna let me sleep at the foot of their bed and probably be happy to see me because I have been gone for a while. So that's how I went back to the Bronx.
Right. So between your time in the Bronx and Queens, which time you think was the best time though? Like you went back to the Bronx out of necessity, but which time did you have them? You think you had the best time?
It's hard to compare because they was at different times in my life. But what I will say is You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
They gonna hit you off and be like, yo, take yours off the top and hit you. Town in the Bronx, you know, it was like you walked out, I walked out the building, it's organized crime right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Dudes is working shifts like they working for, you know, like they working you
Right,
know what I mean? And being paid weekly salaries.
right,
So it was a different culture in the Bronx. It was like really organized crime. And another thing that was different was that there was a lot of love in Queens. That's
right,
why I first understood what love is in the Bronx is dangerous. Like it was a good day if you ain't hear gunshots.
right,
Like we was really, really living in a war zone.
right,
My mother lived on the other side of the side. You know what I'm saying? You know, my first love, my first girlfriend, she lived on Raccoon's Road.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Grand Avenue and all that. It was a good day if you ain't hear gunshots. You know what I'm saying? So when you comparing the two, to be in the hustle game at that age, it was better for me. Shout out to Billy Queens because I seen a little bit. I see it some fruition. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The hustle game uptown in the Bronx, it really wasn't really. That was more so. You just see young dudes running around like taking shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You remember that ever when you know it was like the chain snatching, the
Right.
earring snatching, the cab drivers coming up short. You know, that ever that was 1991.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah. Dudes robbing the
that is
cab
around the
drivers and
time.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is around the time that I started running with the control,
Yeah.
the Bullmark. And the Bullmark, they was heavy, they was thick, they was respected everywhere, across the board. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? For many reasons. And another thing that was different was in Queens, we would make our money
Right.
and still hang out on the strip.
Right.
Uptown, when we got our hands on some money, we went to the skate key.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Good times at the skate key.
We went to the fever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There was places for 13, 14-year-olds to go
Right.
when they got some money. You know what I'm saying? We
For
went
sure.
down to 125th Street and took pictures. And
Oh
so the
man.
only thing you had in Queens was you go to the Coliseum
Mm-hmm.
and you blow the bag, and
Right.
then you come back to the strip, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? It was
Right.
nothing really to do for young teenagers. So that was the difference. That you know, the summer in New York, that was a summer that everything really changed for me. I saw the side of the hustle game, you know, the drug strips and all that. And then I saw the other side. I saw the side where, like I said, there was a lot going on in the streets, like this part of the underworld is, you know, the chooks and, you
Right.
know what I mean? You know, the stick up kids, the takedown boys.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself, you know, caught up in that.
Right.
And
So, so the other thing is, so when you went back to the Bronx, you got down with a new crew. This was a crew that you was down with before, or you hung out with before, or this was just like a
I had just met them. Like I went, my cousin was always my cousin. Rest in peace, champ. You know what I'm saying? That was
right
my cousin.
R.P. Yeah.
And we ran into each other. We bumped heads, and we started running together. And he started introducing me to all these dudes from University Avenue,
Mm-hmm.
from McCombs Road, from Grand Avenue. You know what I'm saying? From Cedric, Undercliff.
Right.
And it was like, this was like being on another planet.
Right.
Everything was on steroids over there. Little niggas had burners, and it was different, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was fascinated by that even more than I was by what was going on in Queens. And what was going on in Queens was a beautiful thing because little niggas was allowed to get money.
Right.
Uptown in the Bronx, little niggas was taking money.
Right, right. So this crew, not to cut you off, but so this crew, they were under older niggas, or this was just a young set of crew that just said we gonna do our own thing.
The road, Marv, I want to say had like when I got there, man, it was dudes that was in their late teens. It was dudes that was like 21, 22.
Right.
And it was different levels to it,
Right.
but everybody was hungry. Everybody was starving. Everybody was trying to eat.
Right.
So, but there was no real like, yo, you under me or you know what I'm
It
saying?
was just like a whole. It was just like a block. We the crew. This our crew, and we all
It was
rep the
like
same thing.
everybody from this area came to this one block.
Right.
But today, that block, they have West Side Day on that block.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how it was 30 years ago. Everybody would come to McQueen's Road. So
Right.
I became a McQueen's Road. I became a road dog. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And, you know, I was, in 9-1, I was getting picked up for grand larceny. I was getting picked up for grand theft, all this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I found myself uh, 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 cut off from society for a while
Okay.
because of these mishaps. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And while I was on that downtime, I ended up being around with these niggas again.
Okay.
And they was still money. I'm starving, ribs touching.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's sending me anything on the inside.
Right.
These dudes got the Arashis, the Jordans, the
Mm-hmm.
champion sweatsuits, the Sergio Tysheem sweatsuits. And I'm hustling my way like, yo, look, man, I'm hungry. Like, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, and I took the vow with myself that I would never be in that situation again.
Right. And,
That I would not have nothing to show for it.
mm-hmm.
That's a bad situation to be in. To
Right.
not have nothing to show for. So when I came home off that stretch, I ran into my guys, Chan, Craig,
Mm-hmm.
um, the big bro Tank, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, all my other guys, man.
Right.
Large, Will, Gutter,
Mm-hmm.
Cello, Ram, you know,
Right.
it's just too many to name, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And I was like, yo, we gotta find a way to get money, man.
Yeah. And I think that's the point right there. Like that's the turning point. Like the difference between somebody that has like a stable home and it get provided for, and somebody that has to defend for themselves. That where your ribs is touching, and you will in desperation. That's what turns on that street hustler mentality. And I feel like that's the part that a lot of people don't see. The courts don't understand that. You know what I mean? Because they don't know what it's like to be like that. You know what I mean? Even if you had a roof over your head, you still could be to the point where your ribs is touching, your mom's is struggling, you got siblings that you looking at doing they hungry too. And that just flips a switch in you saying, listen, I gotta do something. The government not helping, who gonna come save me? It's no saving me. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's how we end up in the streets, you know?
Yeah.
You know, when you first born,
Oh yeah.
it's almost like the statistics is against you. You gonna end up in the streets. Your moms can tell you to have kids, and you was the first one born,
Hmm.
and growing up in a broken home, single parent home,
Right.
and you know, eventually, the moms don't tell you this, but you looking around and there's not enough food on the table no more.
Right.
Like your plate is looking different. Your plate
Hmm.
is short. You like, yo,
Right.
what's up? Like
Like
you should have got here sooner, nigga. You
I,
would have had something to eat.
right.
And you're like, oh man, like this, you know. I went through that. You know,
Right.
my mother was a young mother that didn't know what she was doing. That went on to become a good mother.
Right.
You know what I mean? With each child she got better and better and better and better and better and better and better. She had 8 children.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the oldest. I'm the firstborn. I was in the streets taking care of myself since I was like 12 or 13. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My mother told me how to wash my own clothes. I was doing all that when I was 13. Oh, hey, listen, nigga, I'm not washing your clothes no more.
Right.
I'll take you down here. This is West. This is bleach. This go on here with the whites. This go on with the colors. The colors go on with the cool. The whites go on. I broke all that down for me. So my childhood was short.
Right.
So nobody should be surprised that I became a hustler.
Right.
And then that I became successful at it because I was getting instructions.
Right. Right.
From different phases of life, though, and then you find a way to navigate and put it all together.
Right.
And I think that summer, and then too, man, like that summer, man, was just, it was a sad summer. It came a point where like you know, I didn't think I was gonna let it be 15.
Right.
I went to 2 funerals that summer.
Right.
Both my best friends.
Right. And that's another turning point too. Like, you know what I mean? That'd be like the desperation and the hopelessness of where you at, your environment. Like, yo, look, these dudes is just like me. They hang out in the same neighborhoods that I'm in, do the same thing, know the same people, and they lost their lives. Just being here where we at. You know what I mean? So yeah, so then you get to this mind state, this mind frame, like, I'm not going out like that. Nobody gonna do that to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That was my mind frame. Like, I'm not taking no shorts.
Right.
I'm not letting nobody do that to me. And that's exactly what the mind frame and the mentality was, man.
Right.
And you know, I try to surround myself with sturdy, you know, solid dudes. And you know, that was, you know, slowly you seeing how
Mm-hmm.
we moved into that whole Cream Team, like it's part, like we part of the hip hop culture.
Right.
They trying to be us, we trying to be them.
Right.
The entertainers and entertainers.
Right. It's like a mirror reflecting into a mirror. It's just like you know what I mean? Yeah, it's like an infinite reflection. Yeah.
Right. That was also the summer when the original, you know, out of town move started. You know, and that's what a lot of us was taking off at. Like dudes been going out of town since the 80s.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From the around the way, but like my generation, I think that was the year 1992. That really became a thing. We all going out of town. We all going out of town.
Right.
And I remember that first time I went out of town. I really went because me and my girl was beefing.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye, so I was like, maybe if she don't see me for a while, she'll miss me.
Right.
And you know, it was super wild things.
You know,
Police everywhere, you know,
right.
and shit like that.
Right.
But you know,
So it's kind of like a hustler's vacation.
of thoughts. We're gonna get into that the next episode.
Absolutely.
Getting out of town move.
Absolutely. So this has been episode 2 of the Cream Team Chronicles. If y'all ain't check out the first one, go back, check that out. Then come back and check this joint out, and then next week come back and check out episode 3 for the out of town experience. We don't know the name of this yet, but by the time you come back and you check it, it'll be there.
You know how I get down.
For sure, for sure.
Alright, man, subscribe, hit that subscribe button.
For sure.
Follow me on the gram.
Make sure y'all leave a comment, and if y'all have any questions for Book, make sure y'all leave it in the comments. Y'all can hit him up on Facebook, Instagram, you know, wherever we at. And just leave those questions, and I'll make sure I ask them to him, and he'll answer them for you. Even if it's not in a video, he'll answer you back you know, private message, whatever.
That's a whole fact.
All right. Easy.
One.